less than 25% of organizations feel they're actually protected. Is NIST CSF 2.0 the ultimate answer to closing the security gap, or just another check-the-box framework that looks good on paper? When NIST announced the 2.0 update, a lot of us in security hoped it would be a game changer. The added govern function, the focus on supply chain risk, it all sounded promising.
Absolutely, but we have to be honest here. When companies actually try to implement this framework, it's not exactly plug and play. There's a real struggle to make NIST CSF 2.0 align with existing programs without blowing up budgets or drowning in red tape.
That's where the real pain comes in. Companies try to rush into it and hit a wall. Some expected that the new CSF structure would streamline their processes, but instead, they found the transition required a whole rethink of their risk strategy.
Exactly. It's not as simple as just adopting new categories or updating metrics. If you're not aligning CSF 2.0 with your existing architecture, it can become this overwhelming list of to-dos that leaves teams spinning their wheels. And let's talk about that supply chain focus. The new version really emphasizes securing third-party relationships, which, let's face it, is an area that's been messy for almost everyone. The increased scrutiny here could actually reveal vulnerabilities that companies might not have been ready to tackle.
So what's the solution? How are companies successfully transitioning without adding unnecessary burdens? Well, for starters, the companies seeing success are the ones who've approached it strategically. They aren't just implementing it for compliance, but are weaving it into their risk management DNA. They're setting priorities so they don't just take on every recommendation at once. And they're learning from others' mistakes. We've seen organizations that rush in without tailoring the framework to their specific needs, which just leads to compliance fatigue and burnout. The smarter approach is to treat NIST CSF 2.0 as a toolkit, not a rulebook.
It's funny, we often talk about NIST like it's this silver bullet framework, but really it's only effective if it's applied with clear practical steps. For instance, the companies that succeed with CSF 2.0 are prioritizing critical areas, like their biggest cyber risks or supply chain exposure, before adding in the bells and whistles.
Right, and they're using CSF 2.0 as a means to refine, not replace, their existing security measures. Instead of scrapping their old risk management approach, they're enhancing it with the framework's new updates. I think that's the part that resonates with a lot of leaders. The framework isn't here to throw everything you've done out the window.
It's also crucial to note that adopting this framework requires cross-functional buy-in. The days when security was just the IT team's problem are over. The govern function in CSF 2.0 is all about ensuring top-level support and alignment with the broader business objectives. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more insights on cybersecurity frameworks, strategies, and the latest in risk management.